Bobby says we've never been as exuberant as others. I guess everyone's kind of not exuberant this week. There's a lot of talk about no mining boom. Martin Ferguson, the minister, even said it. Tom Albanese of Rio said there never was a mining boom.
Yeah. Look, we've had a very strong mining investment boom in Australia, and by the end of 2014, it'll be just about over. There will be perhaps a few still going on a bit after that. So Martin Ferguson is right. As long as you put the word investment in, we will get the revenue, of course, from these projects. In the case of BHP, Olympic Dam was a cornerstone of their expansion. It ran into two problems, and the first of these problems is affecting the whole business. The cost of putting mines in and operating them in Australia has gone through the roof, and Africa's killing us. That's the first problem. The second problem is specific to Olympic Dam, because the old technology, the technology they use with their current mine, is a smelter. And BHP wanted to get out of that, have a big underground mine, and then treat the ore to a concentrate stage and send it offshore. The trouble with it was that they didn't get the technology right, and the concentrate they're going to produce will have too much uranium in it to ship safely, say, to Darwin. Or rail.
He's not really talking. No one's really talking about that.
Well, I am. I've been talking about it for a while.
But Marius, I mean, that's
because you didn't ask him.
You should have done the interview.
But there's this extra problem, and you know what? In the last 7 years, when BHP are doing all that drilling, they should have been working flat out on their technology. The other thing about Olympic Dam is that I think it needs a partner that will take the uranium at a fixed price, so that you know you've got that underwritten for someone who wants it. You can punt the copper after that. So
what do you think about the mining boom?
I think whenever you have boom, you have froth and bubble, and you've had a lot of companies, startups that have gone through the roof, and they haven't had very economic commodities. I think highly leveraged companies are probably going to really struggle, but I think the big companies will do well. I think in terms of BHP, the sad thing about the Olympic Dam is if they hadn't, bought all those assets in the US, and, which was over $20 billion, and the Rio Tinto 2 goes, which would have cost nearly $2 billion, they probably could have done Olympic Dam even with the bad technology.
What does the market think of their cash situation?
I don't think the market's worried about their cash situation. I think the market's just absolutely panicking over China. I mean, everything that's coming out of China is it's slowing down very, very rapidly, and there's steel piling up in warehouses, and that means the iron ore price and the coking coal price are going to keep going down and down and down until that backlog of inventory is going to be cleared. It could take a couple of years.
So what about his prediction of 10% volume growth? Which obviously to some extent will offset the decline in prices.
To some extent, what you've got to bear in mind is that some of that volume growth is just displacing volume from somewhere else. There's far less economic, higher cost producers he's going to push out of the market. Yes, he will get 10% volume growth, but he will suffer 10 to 20% price cuts. So net, his revenue is going to be down of the order of 10 to 12%.
So it's going to be a long time before they start spending money on more iron ore capacity, more coal capacity. The coal boom's probably over completely, wouldn't you say, Bob?
I think so. Being hit very hard by higher costs, and Mozambique, a magnificent metallurgical coal in Mozambique, good labour force, good government, and you've got sitting across the coal situation, the total coal situation, but is this enormous amount of gas we're discovering. And that's going to keep the lid on steaming coal prices as well.
Yeah, and talking about coal, we had this Nathan Tinkler situation with Whitehaven, up and down and so on. I mean, what do we make? Is that just further indication of the end of the coal boom?
Yeah. Nathan's had a nice, simple formula used by many entrepreneurs in the past. Buy something and then sell it at a bigger price, invest again and sell it again, invest again and sell it again, or usually in paper mostly, it's a bit of cash. And that little game ends, and it ended with Whitehaven.
I think the other impact on the greater Australian economy is that as all of these junior miners keep cancelling projects, we're going to start to see this really start to crunch through the engineering sector. All these big engineering companies have been gearing up for this boom, and all of a sudden projects are being cancelled one after the other. We're actually going to see a lot of these very highly priced engineers coming back into the market.
Well, all their share prices have fallen already, haven't they?
Yeah, and it'll get worse.